Good evening and welcome to this special edition of Broken Not Shattered. This is your host, Ike O, and I will be rolling the show with my co host, Obi, who's going to be coming in at some point in the day. I just had a great conversation with a very good friend of mine, and we were literally talking about stages of life. How do men see different stages of their life, and how do women see different stages of their life, and how to transition as these stages go on. Sometimes when you're in your 30s, you have your goals all set, you have your plans, the purpose of what you want to accomplish in life, and then you begin to find out that life has a funny way of not allowing you to accomplish those things. What happens to you when you turn to your 40s as a woman and you're still single? Is will the lights ever come on? Would you ever see that lovely wedding bell? And how about those who turn to their 50s as guys? You've accomplished so much. You've done so much for your children, your loved ones, people in your circle. But as a individual on your own, you don't feel you've accomplished anything for yourself. You begin to struggle with that mindset, the mindset of what about me, and these tough times and challenging times, uh, they have a way of creating an impact on us as individuals. And so today, Obi and I are going to dabble into it, have a good conversation, and we're going to also open up the link. I'm going to post this link on our group, and anybody who wants to actually come in can say, "Hey, I have something to say," and then we'll just bring you in, and you just share with us how you deal with tough times, how you're dealing with challenging times, and how you plan to overcome them. You might have a word of encouragement, a word of inspiration for someone. Today, the platform is going to be open. Let me bring Obi in. He might have a lot to say. Hey, what's up, OBG? What's up, my man? How you doing, buddy? How's it going, bro?
Fine, 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 fine. And you?
Good, good. Your microphone is a bit rusty, so you're not too clear. I don't know what you can do to come in, but I was just talking about the conversation I had earlier on today with a very good friend of mine back in Nigeria, and they were talking about different changes of life, how people transition differently, male and female, and
Yeah,
you can see that if you look around, people around you. I know most of my close cousins and relatives and my siblings are all in their 50s, and I can see different mindsets in our conversations, how we want to see life, how do we want to spend the rest of our life. I have a very close cousin of mine. Uh, she took off recently to take her daughter back to school, and she just wanted to have some downtime to herself. It was so important to her that she had that downtime, and I did everything I can to encourage her to say, "Hey, girl, you need to have this downtime to yourself because this is
sure.
how you get yourself back to become the mother, the wife that you need to become to enable you, continue your role and function. Because what happens is that we just carry out our responsibilities. We're constantly functioning, but we don't have time to ourselves. So I encouraged her. I said, "Hey, take time," and she couldn't get enough of it because she felt like she had to rush back and take care of responsibilities back home, which I
No.
completely understand. But at the end of
Yeah,
the day, it is something that has helped her give her a little boost. And I pray that our audience can always take time for themselves. Obi, there's a crack on your side. There's a crack on your side. I hear that crackle. I'm doing a Pastor Paul here now. I'm hearing a crack on your side. So see where the microphone is hitting somewhere and address it. But Obi, what's your point? How do you deal with these tough times?
okay. You still getting the crack?
Yes, I am.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'll try and figure it out.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's um something worth considering anyway. Um, but I think one of the thoughts that comes to my mind in a time like this, more especially after 40s, is coming to the realization that um life is not that difficult. You might be wondering why. Um, we are given this life just to live. And I think we need to understand that first to yourself, and then others. Um, I was asking my mom a few days ago, like, today my dad is no more. He lived his life just to make sure that we were able to fend for ourselves. But he's not here today to see how we're doing. In as much as he panicked, how would these ones, take care of themselves and all that. And so at the end of the day, I think we need to really slow it down a little and understand that what will be must be. In as much as, yes, there is a place of guidance, but understand that it is not because you so much want to carry out that responsibility, or you feel it is on you. So if you don't do it, it's not going to happen. No, it definitely will happen. Destiny will really play itself out. Now, if you look, for instance, there's this saying that most bad boys usually have that godly background. They have most pastors give birth to bad boys. In our days, it was something that was very common. You see a very bad boy, and then the father used to be a pastor, and from a very nice home. You discover
I
that
don't know anything about that. I was never a bad boy. So
yes, he was never a bad boy. I agree with you. But I think 60.
go ahead, go
so,
ahead.
so you see, their parents give so much, but along the line, they got off the track. Some of them came back, some did not. So, but then the scripture made something clear to us. He said, "I plant, Apollos water, and the
Amen.
Lord make it to grow."
That's right. Brings the growth. Yes.
So always have that in your mind and do the best you can. Don't overlevel yourself. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. Don't put so much stress on yourself. What will be would be. This just my little way of coming into this. I know I've been ruminating on it. I've been
Okay.
ruminating
I,
for
I,
a
I,
while.
I know you have, because while you were busy ruminating, I've been in severe pain. I've been hurting from this. It's not an injury. I don't know what's going on in my body. It's called sciatica. I don't know if anybody's out there. You've ever heard the word sciatica before? I have this uh, inflammation of my back muscles that has a very shooting pain that goes through my legs, and
Wow.
it's been a tough week, man. I thought I had overcome it last week, and it's still there. I've seen the doctor. They've given me heavy medications to deal with the pain. I've gone into prayer about it. I feel good this morning after church. But again, I couldn't even climb up to my office this afternoon to have this session. So I'm actually taking. You see, the background is different because I couldn't get there. That's how bad the pain was. I struggled to the last minute just to hit play to get the show moving on. Why? Because I'm so determined that somebody out there might watch this show, and what we have to say today, Obi, might be a blessing. But what I've done today is something different. I've put the link into our studio for all our
Yeah.
audience who are watching, wherever you're on Facebook, or you're watching on Instagram or YouTube. Just click that link. Once you click that link that I just finished posting, you will come straight into the studio. I will bring you in, and you'll be our guest, and you can share your own story and have a word of encouragement. You might even have a testimony, right? That you want to testify, or you just want to encourage someone, or you want to share your own story. Please, guys, we want you to guys. This one is open between Obi and I. We're just going to be talking. Anybody who wants to come in, I will see you when you come in, and I'll bring you in. When you're coming in, just put your name, and the rest is history, because you might have something to say to our audience. Go ahead, Obi.
Yeah. So like I was saying, you know, life is not that difficult. We just need to take it easy. One step at a time. I used to tell myself, um, well, lately you know what my wife and I were trying to achieve,
Right.
and and
Yes.
and and we've been working on this for a while. It should be a very big win for us, and we had all our minds there. But at some point, it wasn't really working how we, expected it to turn out. But then we said to ourselves, see, if we try to get it and it doesn't work, let's see it as one of those things we cannot always get in life, and then believe God for a better opportunity. It's not a do or die affair.
Mm.
Tell people that if you have the opportunity to stay alive, if it is within your reach to stay alive, just stay alive. A living dog is better than
Than a dead lion. Anytime, any day.
I'm,
Anytime, any day.
it,
You can say that
no,
again, man. A living
a
dog is way better than a dead lion. Anytime, any day.
dead lion. I
I
was
agree
talking
with
with
you.
I was talking with my mom today, and we talked about Mephibosheth, and we said Mephibosheth was crippled, forgotten. He doesn't even have a skill. But what happened? Somebody somewhere just remembered somebody. And from remembering somebody, remembered the promise he made to the person and decided to reach out to the family of the person. And lo and behold, all the lions in that lineage, they're all dead. And what was remaining was just that dog,
Mm,
that living dog,
mm.
which ordinarily, when
And he got the blessing.
he
He
got
got that.
the, not just the blessing, and it was said to him, "You will eat from my table until you die," and that was justice.
Yep. He was
So,
sorted out. They called his
so
name as one. They called his name as one of the ministers of the land. His name was on the
exactly,
list.
exactly.
He
And,
made
and
the.
I and I said to my mom, "See, you cannot be taller than me and at the same time shorter than me.
That's correct.
So if there is an award for the tallest, it goes to you. But will you still collect the award for the shortest?
Mm, mm.
No.
You can't.
So I don't envy you. I just Bible said time and chance happening to them all. It is your time, it is your chance. You go with it.
Right.
So now people give their scholarship for first class. There are also scholarship for people who have third class. People might just come up from anywhere and say, okay, we want to sponsor people who are just non-university graduates.
Let me ask
And
you a
people,
question. Obi. I hear where you're going. I hear where you're going with this conversation. Okay, so I understand that the whole idea of do your best and leave the rest for God, correct? Which is very important. You've
yes,
tried, and then you just say, you know what? Let me just stop and trust God, right? But so where does one really come to the point of stopping? Do you stop because you think that, oh, I've done all in my own capacity? And the question is, have you really done? Hold on a second. Have you really done everything in your own capacity? Oh,
okay,
hey,
okay,
how are you? Thanks for being on the program. She's saying hi to Obi again. Yeah. So,
wow,
so the question now is, have you really done everything you need to do? Do you understand? Or was there just one more thing? Or was there two more things you could have actually done when you stopped? How does one know that they've actually gotten to that time in that tough season and said, okay, you know what? It's my time to stop. Right? If you're out there and you have something to say to us, want to contribute, click the link on top. You see that broken the link. Click on it. You come into the studio and express yourself. Share with Obi and I. How do you know that you've gotten to that point where you've completely exhausted everything you know to do? Because sometimes, as Christians or people, just generally, we get to a point where we think we've reached our own capacity, but there's still more. There's still more gas in our engine, in our tank, right? But we
mhm,
don't know how to push that last push to give birth to the baby. We don't know that there's that little bit more. Let me hold on one more second. Let me just take that one more step. Let me just take that last phone call. Let me send that one more email that could make a difference in the whole transition, right? So you don't do it because you feel like, oh, I've reached my capacity because you've limited yourself over time and people say, "Oh, you can't go beyond here. You can't do this. You can't do that." Right? But who says you can't do it? You can do all things through Christ Jesus, right? And so
So,
you take a bold step.
okay.
But what happens is we get to a point where we stop. And who says that stop sign was where you needed to stop?
Yeah.
If you had taken one more step, Obi, that would have been your breakthrough. So I hear what you're saying, but I'm just asking, how do you draw the line and say we've reached capacity? Let's take a short break and then come back. And when we come back, Obi and I will now have a look at that area and see whether truly and honestly, as people, Christian believers, do we actually know when to stop? And when should we actually stop? Welcome back to Broken News. This is Obi and I just having a conversation today just to encourage our audience, wherever they are, that how do we deal with these tough times? How do we deal with changing times? How do we deal with the times that we're in today? Because everything around us is quickly changing. Like I said earlier on, most of my peers are in their late 50s, mid 50s, or early 50s, or somewhere in their 40s. And so life is making a quick change, male and female. They're all asking serious questions. Obi said, you know what? Live. Because a living dog is much better than a dead lion. I said, I agree with you, Obi. But where do we draw the line? Where do we stop? I put out something on our platform. I'll do it again in a second. Please feel free. Click the button, come in, tell us who you are, and we'll bring you into the studio live today. This is a live show, so you get to speak, encourage somebody, and inspire somebody. Because somebody is watching me and they're not sharing their story. I'm trying to encourage you today. Be bold enough to click and come into the studio and share your story. Obi, go ahead.
Okay. So let's set the record, straight and clear. It is not to stop, right? We're not saying at some point you have to stop. But what we're trying to say is you don't pressure yourself.
Okay, take it easy.
Yeah, take it easy.
Yeah, I agree. Take it easy.
My father would always say to me, he said, let there be a movement. You can either choose to run or walk or crawl, but let there be a movement.
Mm.
He said, once there is a movement, one day you will look back and you will see you've crossed the line.
That's correct.
So the most important thing is take it easy on yourself. People say opportunity comes but once. No, that's not true. Opportunity
comes but once again.
Once again. I like that.
Opportunity comes once.
So I want to ask you something.
Yes, sir.
When did you when did you purchase one of your best items or whatever in life? You'd be like, okay, or let me say, when did you purchase your best car ever? I know you like cars and you've been driving, you've been buying cars. When was it that you bought that? When was that? At what age was it? You say, okay, man, I bought this car. At what age was it? So you see, at what age?
I mean, this gray hair didn't come out of stress and strain. It is wisdom. Okay, so I know where you're going with it. I know where you're going with this, Obi. If I'm to answer that question sincerely, I will say that at the age of 22 or 24, when I first bought my first vehicle as a young boy, back in living in London, then I got myself a Sierra. I remember that car very well.
This is when you bought your first car.
Yeah.
The car you bought at 20 and the car you're driving now can never be the same.
True. But it shouldn't be the same.
20 and what you have achieved now can never be the same.
It shouldn't be the same. But you asked the question, where did I buy the best car? And I said yes. I bought what at that time I thought I hit jackpot when I bought that car for £700.
Mm.
£700 I paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was on top of the world, right? I had mobility. I was able to go. But as life continues and you go through seasons of your life, you find
Mm.
out that changes happen. Um, and it comes with growth, it comes with grace. And I say that carefully, it comes with a lot of grace. Um, what grace has preserved for me recently is a very powerful automobile that has I bought recently, very recently, and I'm not going to talk about the car here, but as long as I'm concerned, um, Grace had preserved that car for me, right? Uh, 2 months ago, when I made up my mind after um, going through a few things and a few shocks that I received on a personal level, I just said to myself, you know what? It doesn't really matter. No one really cares. At the end of the day, people only care about themselves. And when it doesn't work, and when things don't play the way things should play, and they're not happy with you for one reason or the other, right? They just kind of blow you off, right? And which is fine. I've learned how to say goodbye these days. I don't push for anything. If you say I bidi, I bidi, if you say I kwashima, nya kwashima, voila. So that is just my mindset. And so I said to myself, you know what? I've done enough, quite a bit for others. Let me do for myself. At the end of the day, and I went into this dealership and I bought this automobile that you're referring to, and it's the grace of God. I shared it with my pastor recently. And if I send you the text he sent to me, he said we have to pray for more humility. I got you give me humility to enjoy this machine that you just bought. This he called it a beast. He said he just got this beast, and that you just pray for more humility. And I give God all the glory. It doesn't
Yeah,
change who I am as a person. I haven't even got to enjoy it as much as I wanted to because of my back pain that I keep on getting every now and then, right? But yeah, it's yes, I hear what you're saying. If I had given up at a very young age and said, "Oh, I didn't have this and I didn't have that at that age," I wouldn't be enjoying what I'm enjoying at this particular time. And God being so good in such a space of time, I've been able to get two, right? The first one that you know about, and then I
yeah,
thought it, and then all of a sudden this one came up about a month and a half ago or so. So it's and I have both of them. I'm just enjoying my life. I'm enjoying my
yeah.
life, and I'm able to take care of my own responsibility. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's all what grace has reserved for me. So if there's someone out there who's watching this program, just like what Obi was saying, don't give up, don't give in. Keep
So,
on believing and keep on trusting. Say yes. Say yes to God for all that He plans to do in your life. Say yes to God for all that you see yourself, even when the adversity comes. Because I also know that with the blessings that come, there's going to be some severe challenges. I've seen a lot of blessings in my life recently after making a major decision to walk away from a relationship, and those blessings have been only from God and God Himself. Nobody else can take the credit for it, right? But at the end of the day, it is what grace has preserved to me, what God had already predestined that I would, and that
yeah,
is in all that. I mean, as much as I enjoyed and growth has come, increase has come, I
yeah,
still remain very humble, knowing
yeah,
that there was a time when I never had. There was a time
yeah.
when I was written off because I never had. There was a time when I was counted out because it wasn't there. But
Exactly.
that's just life itself. So I'm encouraging someone who's watching us today. Don't give up. Your best days are way ahead of you. And
You.
yes, yeah, I get your point, bro. I get your point.
Yeah. It was not like I was trying to put you on the spot,
Well, you
but
did.
I was trying to buttress it, so we could get the clear picture of what is in my mind.
Yeah, but you put me on the spot, but that's fine.
And yeah, it was a good sport though,
But
and I would not.
I'm going to get you back, but that's fine. You not today. I will surely get you back, but that's okay. I
See
said
that?
I wanted my life to be very quiet. That's why I'm not going into details. And wisdom has told me how to answer the question. So go ahead, go ahead. Yes.
Just allow me to have just one day, because you
Hey,
always.
this is your one day now, Dash.
You
But
know,
go ahead.
so
To God be
so
the
what I was,
glory.
yes, I seriously agree with you, because if your 20s was never your best, but you had a very wonderful time in your 20s, but then after your 20s it became rough. Now, but if you had given up then, it wouldn't have been better now, because you're way more better now than ever. And is this going to be your best? No, because it will continue to get better and better and better.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
that's basically the bottom line. My mom will always tell me, say, what you don't eat today, you will eat it tomorrow. And she will say, good thing, no, they finish.
It gets better actually.
It gets better
It
by
gets
the
better.
day.
Yeah, it gets better.
Yeah. So there were some cases.
And there's something about when you come of age to enjoy something, you really
Mhm.
enjoy it because you've gotten to that place where you can really enjoy it, right? I remember getting pulled over by the police, right, recently, and the cops
Okay.
pulled me over to, you know, obviously first of all they were looking at the vehicle, wondering uh, who is this and what is this. So they pulled me
Yeah.
over. First of all, as a black man. So by the time I wound down the glass, the woman looks at me. I said, "Hello, officer. How can I help you?" And she goes, "License and registration." Comfortably give her license and registration. She looked at it, right? Went back, checked it out, came back, said, "Oh, she said, I'm not giving you a fine. I'm not giving you a ticket. Just a caution that you need to do this, whatever she was saying." And then she turned around and said to me, "Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ride you have here." That's why she stopped me, basically. I said, "Thank you very much." And I knew it was just God saying, "Hey, I'm prepare a table before you, in the presence of your enemies."
Praises of your enemy.
Yeah. So that's you're right. You just have to live and trust God, and good things will come. With that, also as God begins to bless you, you will see a lot of people that will begin to resent you more. So
Yeah.
it's and that's okay. Excuse me, and that's okay. So if you find yourself in that position and you're getting more wahala from friends and family just because you're actually getting blessed, it comes with it. It comes with the territory. And wisdom will allow you to navigate. So if you're watching today and you're doing some great things and you're getting a lot of opposition, either internally or externally, it's
Yeah.
okay. It all just anti-fragile, like my pastor will say. Let it not. Don't let that pressure break you. Use it to
Yeah.
catapult yourself into a different arena, a different location, a different setup, and
Yeah.
increase will surely come. Increase will
Yeah.
surely come. Yeah. The blessings of the Lord come without sorrow.
Without
Zero,
sorrow.
zero sorrow.
It's make it rich and added no sorrow.
Yeah, no
And just
sorrow.
put a little disclaimer. So we're not saying people shouldn't try. We're not saying people shouldn't make effort. We're not saying people shouldn't, go for growth, improve themselves and try something new. But don't be desperate.
Yes, I think that's a big point. Note that
Yeah,
avoid the desperation. There's no need for desperation. There's no
because
need for you to push yourself into a very bad situation, a very bad pickle, just
yeah,
because you want to identify and you want to belong. There's no need. Anything that
yeah,
would take away your sleep, just forget it.
yeah,
I always say this, and you see when we talk about our three closing words of
yeah,
love, peace, and more grace. Honestly speaking, I have been in life where I had completely for years, 5 years straight, just had no zero peace, zero peace, zero peace.
mm,
And I know what it's like to live without peace, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so, uh, if you have peace of mind, it's a blessing. Don't
Yes.
worry about the things you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Go for the things you do have. Enjoy the
Mm-hmm.
things you do have. Celebrate the things
Mm-hmm.
you do have, and the things that you don't have will eventually.
Mm-hmm.
That is my honest belief. Do not give up. Do not give in. The things that you don't have will eventually. Just put your hands and put your trust in God, and He turn it right. Okay, you have the last word. We're about to.
Well, it's interesting here. Is my network fluctuating again?
Nope, it's
Okay,
good.
that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. So, like you said, I think I will leave you with let's not be desperate. Let's stay positive and then put in the little efforts and just grow as our strength gives us to do. Just do. Stay positive, keep growing, irrespective of how little you can afford to grow. Keep adding to yourself. Gradual, gradual. One day you will come to light and you will begin to appreciate it. But if you're desperate and you run faster than you can handle, then it becomes a problem.
Wow. Obi, thanks for those kind words. I want to tell a quick story. Most of you might have seen this story in the Bible. It's the story of the lepers who were outside of the gates and they were dying. These lepers had no food whatsoever. They couldn't feed themselves. They were unable to feed. They were just going through a very, very rough patch. And they looked around and they saw themselves literally, literally dying. And they said to themselves, guess what, guys? If we stay here, we will die. But if we get up and go into the enemy's camp and start making our way into the enemy's camp, we might die there. But at least we tried. And they started making their way. They got up from their place of death and said, you know what, I don't have to be stagnant here, and decided to make their way in to the enemy's camp. The Bible says as they started making their way in, there was a sound that hit the enemy's camp that sounded as if there were thousands and hundreds of soldiers making their way in. And what happened was that the enemies heard those sound of these lepers coming in, that all of a sudden sounded like monsters walking into the enemy's camp, and the enemies completely abandoned everything they had and fled. Scripture says that when they got there, they had everything in largesse. What am
Mm.
I saying, Obi? To those who are watching us this evening, this morning, this afternoon, this night, don't stop. Take that step.
Take that step.
Take that step in the right direction. Keep
Mm-hmm.
on walking, keep on planning, keep on counseling, keep on
Mm-hmm.
preaching, keep on
Mm-hmm.
sharing, keep on working, keep on reaching out. Whatever it is, just keep on doing it. Continue to walk in the direction of the camp. Because if you stay here, you will perish. But at least if you make an attempt, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. They might hear the sound of you coming, and the doors will flee open for you to enjoy the largesse that's planned for you. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining Ubi and I on this issue of Broken Not Shattered. The three precious words: love, peace, and more grace. Wish you a wonderful, wonderful week. Go out there and keep on walking. Don't give up. Love you. And please share this platform with others. We're getting so many feedback from people who are being blessed every weekend that even in
Yeah.
my pain, I refuse to not allow this show not happen today because I don't know what God is going to do with me and how He's going to encourage someone.
His
Huh?
grace is sufficient for you. His grace is sufficient for you in your
Thank
pain.
you, sir. And I truly appreciate it, my brother. Great is sufficient for me and great support for you and everyone else who's out there. So bless you. OBG.
Oluwade my side.
Oluwade your side. All right, guys. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Unbroken, not shattered. And it is a wrap. We'll see you next week on the same show.